Like you're saying you have to stick through the dip, right? The dip being the point at which you're most fucked up. It feels terrible, everything's slow. You're like, am I even gonna make it? Is this even real? Do other people even make this? How do they do it? Are they magic and I'm not? All the limiting self-doubt beliefs are in the dip. When you're going high, making tons of results, like you know, there's no dip. You don't feel a dip, right? Like that's such a crazy idea. I feel like the dip is a book almost no one knows about, and it's like the opposite of. No, it's not the opposite of compound interest. It is compound interest. It's just being able to delay gratification long enough to get through dips to get big results again. So compound interest. It's honestly, it's just that. People say compounding a lot. I guess a lot of people know that idea. But even most people I ask about compounding, they don't know about that idea. Like we think in the self-improvement, business, all this entrepreneur learning space, we think we are just the same thinking as everyone else, but you're not. Like the way you're operating and stuff is actually a lot different. That's why on a long timeline, you win bigger. And you're like, well, I knew this was going to work at some point. That's why I kept doing it. I know other people are saying to do it. I know it's working for them. But 99% of people, like the internet's 10% learning and 99% or 90% entertainment, fun, whatever. Maybe some inspiring stuff like quotes and stuff like that. But like real deep learning, that's like 10% of people on the internet. And most of those 10% are learning too much and doing nothing. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. That's like somehow people think it's normal that every day we all sit there and scroll content. Who said you need to do that? That should be like once a week thing. But if you did it once a week, everyone would be like, "What? You're so weird. You only go through content one time a week." So, dude, what more do I need? That doesn't even make sense. Like Isaac Newton walked around and did all his Isaac Newton shit with no content. There's no content. You know, like there's some books I'm sure that these type of people could get access to and stuff like that. But it's like this very little amount of content. You know, like I even think of that when I'm just taking too many notes. And I'm like, okay, there's no point in really taking this many notes. Again, Isaac Newton, Da Vinci walking around with his one piece of paper, you know? I think Da Vinci was the only one in his like town that had paper because his dad was like some ledger or some shit. Only reason he had paper so he could write. But like he didn't have that much paper. So you don't gotta note down everything either. You can't use all that. It's not gonna, it's like just let your mind think more. The big ideas will stick out like a fucking sore thumb, dude. The big ideas. Those, like people are like, I'm gonna forget these ideas. But it's like, the best ideas you have, those shits just stay in your mind. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm not letting this get away. So like you can almost you forget it and it'll come back like 2 hours later, because it's like that's the idea right there. You thought I didn't remember that. So I'm not saying don't write shit down. It really does help. It drives it deeper into your nervous system. You remember things more. You can see things again when you come back and read through your journal. So writing things down is good, but you don't need to write that much down. You don't need to consume that much content at all.